Let's talk about emotional abandonment, right? Um, there have been multiple times throughout my entire life that I have been emotionally abandoned because the person is emotionally unavailable, right? However, back then I didn't see it that way, and I thought that that's just the way that relationships work. Somebody says that they're going to do something for you and they don't show up, or somebody makes plans with you and they don't show up, they don't follow through, or they cancel plans and maybe they say that they want to reschedule and it never happens. um, Emotional abandonment is really all about things being said that never end up happening, right? And again, until I learned about emotional immaturity and emotional unavailability, I literally just believed that that's the way that relationships work. People emotionally abandon. And not only that, let's take it a step further and talk about self esteem, talk about self worth. Um, Anytime that somebody had emotionally abandoned me, I didn't see the emotional immaturity and the emotional unavailability. I didn't even really see it as emotional abandonment. I saw it as something to do with me. I saw it as another reinforcement that Chris is unworthy, that Chris does not deserve to be shown up for, right? And when when you don't know any better and somebody emotionally abandons you, you internalize it. You make it personal. You look at yourself and you're like, well, I guess I must be bad. This is just a further reinforcement of, my own belief that I am bad, that I am inherently, you know, a wreck, right? That's why people don't show up for me, right? Um, but I'm just going to call it for what it is. The reality of emotional abandonment, the reality of that is somebody is emotionally immature and with that, emotionally unavailable. What does that mean? It likely means that if they cancel plans with you, um, it's not about you, it's that they just aren't available emotionally, right? And they're not mature enough to be present with their emotions in regards to whatever it is. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with him, her, them, whoever, right? It's just simply because somebody is emotionally immature and they're emotionally unavailable. They're not available to their own emotions, and there's probably some emotion that would be surfacing that they do not want to deal with. And so they're like, maybe they make plans, right? And all of a sudden, fear arises and they see it. Fuck, there's fear again. All right, I'm going to cancel the plans. Fear's gone, right? Just like that. Or whatever it is. I'm not going to show up and this, that, and the other, right? Um, let's take this a step further and look at a person that would chase emotionally unavailable people. um, Not really anymore. Previously, yes. Um, Somebody that chases emotionally unavailable people likely has a belief that if they do so and they win, then they will finally be worthy and they will be loved. Right? This is probably rooted in some fucked up um, dynamic from earlier on in life, childhood, whatever it is, right? But like, and I've been here. I've been here in at least one relationship, no names, right? But um, you believe that if you can get the person to show up for you, then you will finally be worthy of love. And the wild thing is that this ends up being a roller coaster of emotional experiences because it's like it goes back to the whole thing of like I was talking about before. When you externalize your self worth, this is an example of externalizing your self worth, right? Worthy, worthless, worthy, worthless. You have it. You've been chasing the emotionally unavailable person, right? Because you feel worthless. You finally get them. You feel worthy. Something happens and maybe you lose them. You feel worthless again, right? The experience of being in a relationship with somebody, whether it's platonic or romantic, being in a relationship with somebody that is emotionally unavailable is very much a roller coaster, because it's kind of like have it, don't have it, have it, don't have it, worthy, worthless, right? And that becomes, I mean, for starters, first and foremost, um, that is probably a pattern that is comfortable and familiar to childhood, to something that happened in childhood, right? Maybe you were emotionally abandoned and you learned that if you could just get this person to be present with you, then you'd finally be worthy of love. You'd just finally be worthy in general, right? Um, and so you get very attracted to that dynamic, right? That dynamic is like anybody who learned that their worth does not lie in other people, um, and they don't externalize that stuff. They don't tie their worth extrinsically to people, right? They don't chase that stuff. People that are emotionally healthy and don't try to chase people that are emotionally unavailable. Somebody that is healthy would never chase somebody that is emotionally unavailable, right? That person would just show that person who they are, and that person would be like, oh, yeah, that person's emotionally unavailable. Done. Just like that, right? No ifs, ands, or buts. I'm not going to continue trying to pursue somebody that is clearly emotionally unavailable. Period, right? And the other thing, too, about emotional unavailability, which is fascinating, and I think I kind of just learned this the other day. Emotional unavailability is not just making plans and then not showing up. It's also like overbooking your schedule as to distract yourself and avoid emotions, right? Which is fascinating because somebody that overbooks their schedule has unhealthy boundaries, right? Because it's like, all right, well, the boundary that I need to set in place is that I need to make sure that my schedule is balanced, that I'm not taking on too much, um, so that I don't feel suffocated, right? They would probably do that because they're emotionally unavailable. They overbook as to not have to sit with themselves and feel shit, or sit with other people and feel shit, right? But really looking again at the main theme here of this video, um, when you when you're attracted to people that are emotionally unavailable, it's likely because you're willing to go that pursuit of chasing them. And the purpose of the chase is to, you're chasing them, you're running after them. Ha, got you. I'm finally worthy. Oh crap, I lost you. I'm worthless again, right? The entire reason of the pursuit of a person that is emotionally unavailable is more so to, like, say for instance, if you had a caretaker that was emotionally unavailable and therefore they literally couldn't be present with you, it's likely that you will chase people that are emotionally unavailable, because if you can win their love, then you will finally feel worthy. But if you lose their love, then you're worthless again. um, so that's how I could see that a person would be attracted to people that are emotionally available. Emotionally unavailable. Um, it really becomes like an adrenaline inducing game. You know, you wait around because they're obviously not present. You hope that they'll respond to you because they're emotionally unavailable. You keep messaging them and they want to be nice, so they don't really say anything. The signs are all there. I have dealt with these people before. I'm not interested in dealing with them anymore, right? Um, One of the most important things that you can do for yourself is not only get away from these people, but also not internalize how they're treating you, because it has nothing to do with you. If you're making an attempt to try to hang out with them, okay, but you don't need to, and you're teaching yourself the further reinforcement from the earlier wound of, um, oh, well, if I just get this person to be present with me, then I'm finally worthy. If I get this person to love me, then I'm finally worthy, right? Well, no, you're already worthy. You're just dealing with somebody that's emotionally unavailable. Um, and I'm genuinely not interested in associating with people that are emotionally unavailable. Um, it's a highly unattractive trait in anybody. It really is. Again, I'm not here to claim myself as better than anybody else or perfect. I'm not. I'm on my journey. I'm doing the work. I've done a lot of work. I've done enough work to be at this point where I'm like, oh, emotionally unavailable people. Yeah, not fun. I'll pass on that, right? Doesn't make them good or bad or right or wrong. It's just like you're just gonna chase them, but you're chasing them because it's comfortable and familiar to some childhood dynamic, right? Um, but you're attracted to them because you think that if you get them to love you, if you get their love, then you're finally worthy, and it's just not true. It's not accurate, right? You're already worthy. You're just dealing with the same thing that is a pattern based in comfort and familiarity of childhood. That's all it is.